This was kind of what I was waiting for to tell me when I should give myself another Dupilumab injection. A lot of these adjustments with new medication is just something those of us who are trying it for the first time, we just have to experiment on our own.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boy.
Finally, I'm doing another Dupilumab injection. It's been 12 weeks since my last injection, so almost 3 months. Last time I had an injection was July 31st, and today is October 25th. The reason I stopped Dupilumab for so long was during the summer, I got quite severe nausea, vertigo, motion sickness, lack of appetite, the desire to vomit. I had all those symptoms that I usually didn't have, and I couldn't rule out that it wasn't Dupilumab. Dupilumab is just so new that there's very, very little data and information about what kind of side effects it would have and how it would interact with other medications, or how it would interact with other symptoms and other illnesses and problems that I have, or that anybody else has, and whether if those interactions would produce a different kind of symptoms, such as the nausea and the queasiness that I was feeling. But those symptoms were so debilitating that I couldn't get up, I couldn't move, I couldn't drive, I couldn't even really use the mouse to work on the computer. It was just, and my brain was really foggy, so it was just completely messing up my head and also making me quite weak. I mean, there are always a lot of possibilities of what is causing me to react in a certain way, just because I react to literally everything on the planet. There's nothing that I'm not toxically allergic to and react to. But the Dupilumab was something that I can control by not giving myself another injection. The weather, and there were a lot of wildfires this summer, all the way up from Canada down to San Diego, and the whole West Coast is basically burning. So that was another major possibility that I considered, but I couldn't really do anything about that. So so my doctor and I decided to give myself a little break from Dupilumab, and it was also a good test of how long can the positive benefits of Dupilumab last. And that's another thing that the researchers haven't really done before. There's only, I guess, a couple thousand people who have used Dupilumab ever, including people who were part of the clinical trials and the people such as myself, the early adopters, since the FDA has approved it. A lot of these adjustments with new medication is just something those of us who are trying it for the first time, we just have to experiment on our own. As I said in the previous video that I did in Utah, that a lot of you guys watched, I had gradually extended my injection time frame from the 2 weeks that's normally recommended to 3 weeks and 4 weeks, and I kind of settled in on 5 weeks. And if you remember, that was because I was just trying to solve the eye swelling problem that Dupilumab causes, and just by giving myself less injections, it wasn't causing the eye irritation and eye swelling. But I just wondered what would happen if instead of giving myself an injection every 5 weeks, what if I just went longer without it? So I went 6 weeks, and they're like tiny little flare-ups, and then things calmed down again, and the skin just felt great, looked great. So I just kept on waiting. I was waiting to see when I would get a flare up that wouldn't be containable, and that was kind of the signal that Dupilumab is finally not working anymore. So I just kept on waiting and waiting. And then I went on my Europe medical expedition. You can watch the video that I just posted about that. And I didn't bring Dupilumab with me overseas, so and I ended up just doing just fine. The point about going on this Europe medical expedition was that every time I've been in Europe, my health has been a lot better, especially my asthma. And this time, when I went in at the end of September, my asthma didn't improve as much as before, but as I described in detail in the video I just posted, my digestive system got a lot better. My nausea just went away, had a lot more energy. My sinuses cleared up. You can tell that my sinuses are clogged ever since I've been back to LA. Like the moment I stepped off the plane, symptom after symptom started piling up. Breathing problems, asthma, sinus problems, sneezing allergies, the nausea, the queasiness, the digestive problems, pretty severe, and not to mention the skin getting worse. And so I've been back from Europe 2 weeks, and my skin, the eczema, had just started creeping back more and more every day, just by a little bit. But just in the last couple of days, my skin has gone more and more rough, and the rashes aren't going away even though I'm putting on the ointments and the creams. And just in the last 24 hours, the rashes are starting to peel, and these inflammations, the rashes, are starting to make my skin feel fluffy. I've described that feeling a couple times. It kind of feels like suede to the touch. The feeling underneath the skin is when I touch my skin, it's just more sensitive, and that's because it has more inflammation, and it's just kind of falling apart underneath the surface. So the surface still has like some nice coloring. It's not a full-blown rash or cracking or leaking, anything like that, but the foundations underneath the skin are already doing that. And these are and these were the signs that I was looking for when I decided to extend my Dupilumab injection. This was kind of what I was waiting for to tell me when I should give myself another Dupilumab injection. The other thing that really struck me was my skin's getting more and more itchy every day. So for the past year and a half being on Dupilumab, basically I've forgotten what it feels like to itch and scratch, and now I'm doing it all the time, and kind of can't keep my hands off my skin anymore, and that's a pretty bad sign. And I've also been getting some hives about the size of the pen cap, like the tip of a pen cap. And these hives are scattered, just one here, one there. There's one on my outer thigh, there's one on my knee, there's one on the back of my foot, there's one on the back of my neck, and there's one on my left hand, there's one on my upper arm. So it's kind of scattered, but before, even with Dupilumab, I would get these occasionally. Kind of felt like Dupilumab was struggling, trying to keep control of my skin. But there would be these little volcanoes of these hives that would just kind of erupt on the skin surface every now and then. But they wouldn't last as long as they have been now, and they weren't as itchy, and the hives weren't as numerous. So basically, for just focusing on my skin, just every aspect of my eczema has gone worse to the point where I don't think anything else other than Dupilumab can fix it. And so that's why I'm going to give myself the injection today. And obviously there are other possibilities of why my eczema is flaring up now. Like I said, being back in LA has caused all my problems to flare up again, both for food, allergies, breathing allergies, asthma, even sort of like nervous system and brain inflammation, inflammation of my digestive system, and just all over. The immune system is hyperactive, and maybe that's why my skin's falling apart, because my immune system has all these extra things to deal with now that wasn't as bad before I went to Europe, and it wasn't, and definitely not as bad while I was in Europe. So the body is just fighting on all fronts now and just can't keep hold of the improvements that I've made with Dupilumab for my skin. That's a possibility. I don't know. But again, there's so little known about Dupilumab that all of this is just a test. However, I will say that Dupilumab should be long gone out of my body by now. It should only stay in your body about 5 or 6 weeks, I guess. So being off of Dupilumab for about 12 weeks now, there should be no Dupilumab in my system at all. So all the benefits that I enjoyed from being off of it for 6 weeks up until now, all these benefits, probably just my body improving and handling and picking up the slack, or Dupilumab changing something fundamental about my skin, that my skin's healthier, or my immune system dealing with the skin is able to handle more. I don't know exactly what it is, but there is some fundamental change there, and that is really encouraging. That's a step closer to having a cure, where you don't have to be on these medications or these injections forever if these medications can produce some kind of a long-term biological change in your body that solves the problem.